The Painting. A short story by Amber Wallace. The four of us stood there facing the old Tanner house after school that night. The house was said to be built back in the 1920s, and the owner died mysteriously. They say the house was haunted by the ghost of Oswald Tanner. So, why am I out here on this cold night? Well, that's because of the three teens next to me. Troy, Cole, and Rose. I don't really know them, but I overheard their conversation about the Tanner house, and I made the mistake of joining in on their talk. So what are we waiting for? Troy asked teasingly. You afraid, new girl? That was me. The new girl. I snorted at his remark and began walking up to the house with the others in tow. As we walked up on the wooden porch, it creaked eerily under our weight. It freaked out Rose because she yelped and clung onto Troy while Cole laughed. Rolling my eyes, I walked up to the door and hesitated. Not that I was scared, but because my thoughts went to this: are we breaking and entering? New girl is scared. Cole laughed and walked up beside me to open the door. The door opened up with a loud creak that echoed throughout the house. The four of us stared inside the abandoned home, not sure if we should enter or not. After I solved my mental dilemma about breaking and entering, I walked into the house first. The house definitely had a haunted vibe to it, that's for sure. We walked through the house, and the first room we came across was the living room. There were couches that were covered by sheets, side tables with vases and old black and white pictures on them, and a huge fireplace against the wall. Whoa, I heard Cole say, and I turned to see that he looking at big painting of Oswald Tanner hanging above the fireplace. That's one creepy picture. And it was, Mr. Tanner was sitting down with a black cat laying on his lap. The cat had green piercing eyes that stared and followed your every move. Come on, Rose complained, let's keep moving, this room is giving me the creeps. I rolled my eyes while Troy put his arms around Rose. Don't worry, Rosie, I'll protect you, Troy said heroically. Crash. As if on cue, something broke beside Rose and Troy. Rose screamed and the rest of us jumped. Please, let's leave. Rose whined. I don't like this anymore. Troy nodded numbly. All right, come on. As we left the living room and back down the hall, there was soft thump against one of the closest doors. What was that? Cole asked. We all looked around, not sure of what it was either. Curiously, I walked to the closet door where the thump came from and opened it. As I did, a human skeleton came falling out, and I had to admit, I screamed this time, as did the others. Okay, I've had enough, Cole said. Let's go. The others nodded in agreement. I was about to follow, but something didn't look right about the skeleton. I was going to get closer to inspect it when I heard a familiar whine. Ew, Rose said. I stepped in something. Troy moved Rose aside and took a closer look, but immediately jumped back. Gross, he said. It's a dead rat. Rose then began to sob. I don't like this anymore. She whined and stomped her foot hard on the ground, and we heard a loud yow. And a pair of green eyes shined through the darkness. Let's get out of here, Troy said and grabbed Rose by the hand and started making a run for it, followed by Cole and me. In the chaos of getting out of the house, I wasn't watching where I was going and tripped over a broken floorboard and fell on my side. By the time I looked up, Troy, Rose, and Cole had already ran out of the door, leaving me behind. Talk about every man for himself. Came the noise again and I jumped. Looking behind me, I saw a pair of green glowing eyes, but what I saw made me laugh. It wasn't some ghost or monster, it was a cat, a black cat. The cat came trotting over and sat down in front of me, whacking its tail against the floor, not looking happy. I slowly sat up and reaching into my coat pocket, I pulled out a bag of cat treats, which were for my cats. I took a few treats out and put them on the ground for the cat. The cat's mood seemed to change when I gave him the treats. Smiling, I stood up and brushed myself off. I decided to explore the house now that I was away from those 3 clowns. I walked over to where the skeleton fell from the closet, and upon further observations, I saw it was a plastic skeleton used in science classes. When I looked further into the closet, I saw boxes filled with beakers and biology books. I suddenly remembered the dead rat and thought, well, a cat has got to eat. I went into the living room, and over to where we heard the crash, and saw a broken vase scattered across the floor. I suddenly remembered how my cats used to brush up against things, and they would tumble and sometimes break. I shook my head laughing. Looking over behind me, I saw that the cat had followed me throughout the house. So you were the one giving us trouble, I said and petted the purring cat. How about I take you home? The cat didn't fuss as I picked him up and carried him away. A strange feeling came over me. I decided to turn and look at the painting. I saw to my surprise that the cat was gone.